Several fighters have broken off from the main group. Stay with me. Hobby Lobby Thoughts with Max's Models. Welcome. Now, the wife had to come to Hobby Lobby, so you know where I'm hiding out. Found this. That might look good hanging in the Tarbus. But I was noticing, although they're still pretty well stocked on model cars, things seem to be thinning out a fair bit when you get to the ships and the planes. I'm hoping that's a sign of good sales. Now in the kit model section, they have these paints and bottles like this that are specifically made for airbrush, and I've never tried these, and I think I should. I'm not familiar with Createx. It says water-based, so they should be acrylics, one would think. And the price isn't bad. Have any of you guys ever tried one of these? I should probably grab one just to see. They almost seem more like colors for cars. I don't really see what looks like much in the way of military colors. Some of these are opaque, pearlized, fluorescent. You know, this would probably be really good paint to use on something that I'm going to chroma key out, like the stand of an airplane. Never tried that. That's a thought. I have seen these airbrush cleaning pots before, but I've never used one. Wonder if you guys had an opinion on them. That might not be a bad thing to get with one of those 50 or 40% off coupons. There's an airbrush cleaning mat. I'm not really, to be honest, I'm not terribly familiar with this. Maybe you guys can tell me if these are any good or exactly how you use one. You just put cleaner in the brush and spray it into the mat. Looks like it, with its raised edges, it might not make a bad place to put large decal sheets to get them wet. A bunch of little bits and bobs that I'm actually not that familiar with. You'd think I would be, but not even I know everything. You might want to grab some more of these. These are the handiest things on earth. Best thing for model building since pockets. I got a bunch of them with that tray, and man, I tell you what, after once you get used to using those little extended hand clips or stuff, like you just can't have enough of them. And here's some of the other acrylic airbrush paints that are made for particular models. Space Dust, that's a cool name. I don't think I've actually, like I say, I haven't used any of these. By the way, if anybody sees this, don't tell Ian over at Hurricane Hobbies I'm here. I was going to go over there, but my wife had to come here, so I'm here. So, Ian, if you're watching this, I'm not here. It's all a bad dream. They're actually selling a DVD for almost $13. How to be airbrushing. Oh, how to begin airbrushing. Good place to put the sticker, guys. You know, all things considered, I got to give Hobby Lobby some credit. They have a reasonably respectable amount of supplies and stuff. So, you know, props for that. Meddling mouse. Oh, I've got to get one of those for Honey. The cat would go ape over that. The cat would go ape over a mouse. Only in American slang does that make any sense. I built one of these metal earth kits of the F-22, and oh, there it is right there. And it just drove me bonkers. That's a completely different skill set. My hat's off to anybody who can make one of these look good, because it's a challenge. Oh my God. The horror. I mean, it's beautiful, but my God, the work that had have to go into making that one. Well, there's one of my dream cars in the real world, the 55 Bel Air convertible. I just think it's a cool looking car. It wasn't until I watched a video on the Land Rover that I realized that it was based on the Willys Jeep. And of course, they used the bloused aluminum fenders, so it makes it looks a lot bigger, but that's one of the reasons the grill's so recessed. And this looks like a pretty good model. The box is heavy, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of good stuff in there. Feels like it's pretty tightly packed. And what are we looking at here? 35 bucks. So, you know, guys, if this is a pretty cool subject matter, I'm just thinking, you know, this might be something you want to wait until they're having one of their 40% off on model kits. You know, trucks like this or car carriers are in my opinion, a pretty good way to display a bunch of models in a small area for all you car guys, you know, because you can get, what, 6 or 8 of them on a car carrier and eat up a small footprint. Or a vehicle like this where you can basically, it's a twofer, you can display 2 of them for the footprint of 1 if you're tight for space. The Rookie. Nice to see Nathan Fillion found some work after Firefly. All units and 1 Atom 12. Maybe it's just me, but I always thought those eyebrow turn signals were cool on trucks. I remember we had some when I was a little kid. I mean, they had actually even the bigger, more elongated ones. They just, I don't know, they just look cool. But I know that this Coca-Cola AMT truck, has been pretty popular. That's a neat one too. But well, anyway, I think if I was going to drive one down the street, I don't know. You know, I'd be torn between these two. I like the styling on both of them. A 63 split window Corvette. I just saw a hand carved model of one of those earlier today. A guy did a really nice job. It was probably about a 1/12 scale. And I was telling one of the people that was there about it. I think those are like $1 million cars now, or they're super expensive. I guess that was 63 is the only year they had that back window on them, I think. Das Kiefer. That's what the Germans used to call them. And of course we called them beetles or bugs. Every time I see one, I hear the tune to Herbie Love Bug. $37.99. Well, not a whole lot more expensive than the actual car. In fact, I remember an old Volkswagen commercial where it says, Mr. So-and-so just bought a new car, and he pulls up in like your basic Ford sedan, and that might have been a Rambler. And then it goes, and Mr. Smith next door he also bought a new car. He pulls up in a Beetle. The money he had left over, he bought a new washing machine, a new dryer, a new television. The people's car. Reps a locator. The thing speaks for itself.
Pasha, to your register, please. Pasha.
The last part of the ship anybody saw. What? Too soon? One of the most elegant machines ever to grace the sky, and one of the coolest looking fighters ever. And proof that it doesn't have to be beautiful to fly good. A lot of people don't realize that this wing actually leaves the fuselage at a 90-degree angle, which eliminates drag, and that was the reason they did it like that. And by doing it this way and then putting the dihedral wing later, they got they got a smaller fuselage because they had the oil coolers right here, and the airframe actually ended at the back of the tail. This is just an aerodynamic cap, so everything after that's just a little aerodynamic fairing. And of course the cockpit on the prototype was up here, but that didn't work out well, so they pushed it back, put the fuel tank up there, and everything about it was an aerodynamic decision. It almost looks like an airplane designed by committee, but as a result, it was faster than a Hellcat. It was a great airplane. A little tricky, but a great airplane. Tank cool. Yeah, let's put the price sticker right in the middle of an action shot. You know, couldn't just put it down here in this big void space where it doesn't mess up the beautiful box art. I wanna be your sledgehammer. Get to the chopper. There's no seats on the chopper. Hang on to the outside. Death Star and Imperial Star Destroyer. Thanks, I'm a little Death Starred out for the moment. Boo-boo, boo-boo-doo. You know, after building this, you could probably build the real engine. Back when we knew how to groom young men to be mechanics. I just realized that both the only 2 ships they have here, and they're both what you might call doomed vessels. But we got a little payback, right? Get to the chopper, and this one has seats. Something about coming down the model aisle that just brings out the 12-year-old in me. My brother said something the other day that he was chatting with a family friend that over 30, almost 40 years ago, he had built a model for the gentleman's son, and they both started talking about it. They both remembered it like it happened yesterday, and he made a great observation. When you build a model, you're not just building a model. You are literally building memories. Guys, take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.